All right, welcome back in to the fourth episode now of the Somewhat Close to Everything We Need podcast. We have Ashley on as a guest. Ashley, how are you doing?
Pretty good.
So just
Stags
before we
up.
jump into this episode, Ashley goes to Fairfield University, which their mascot is the Stag, and we decided to show our school support for her.
We wanted to
So
make her feel comfortable.
we're dressed up as Stags today. So this is our Stag podcast. All right, let's hop right into it. You ready, Ashley?
Yeah, I'm so excited.
So speaking of Fairfield, right? That's the school you decided to go to in the fall.
Yes.
So I heard you had a pretty adventurous first night at Fairfield. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Not really. Not at So that's so interesting that you bring that up.
Why is
I
that?
don't remember what even happened, so it's okay. We don't need to.
Well, I remember if you want me to just run through.
Yeah,
the events
do you
of that
want to recount your side of the story here, or what you've heard?
Yeah, so I heard this from a undisclosed source that I don't want to give away just yet. However, on your first night at school, you seemed to party a little too hard, and it sounded like you might have had to take a trip.
I went on an adventure.
Was it like a bit of a field trip, perhaps?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but yeah, it was an adventure. My friend was there. She told me
Well,
about
of course, I always support a good adventure. I'm all about adventure. I dressed up like a deer today just for the adventure.
it. Yeah.
So, what's
By
one
the
of your
way,
favorite
especially for
adventures?
me, it took me a solid 10 minutes to find these sticks. I was walking all around my yard. I was traveling all the way to the woods to get them, but
It was a fun
Would you
adventure.
consider your first day at Fairfield your favorite adventure, or do you have a more favorite adventure after getting to college?
No, I feel like that was my favorite adventure, like a one-time thing that now if you wanted to do that, you can't because your first day of college is over.
it's true.
That's a very good point.
So like now I have that story.
Too bad you don't remember any of it.
It's okay though. Like I
It's
know
not a shame.
that it happened.
It would have
It
been
did
very
happen.
fun to dive into details, but I guess we'll just head on to your next thing.
Yeah.
So after your adventurous first night, you decided to join the rugby team at Fairfield.
Yeah.
So why don't you run us through how's rugby going for you?
It's a fun time. I scored.
Did you?
I did.
What does that exactly mean in rugby?
It's a try, so you just have to run to the
Oh,
end.
so you
So
tried.
what you're saying is you
Didn't
tried
succeed?
your best.
And I succeeded.
Hey.
And I
Oh,
scored. And he said,
interesting.
I thought it was pretty funny because I'm not that athletic in the opinions of some people. And
I would say you have a rather small physique for someone to be playing such a contact sport.
yeah, I hurt myself a lot during it. But he told me I was fast, and I thought it was funny because I'm not that fast. You know?
I mean,
I don't
take
know.
what you can get. Like,
Yeah.
no pain, no game. You got that speed.
Oh, it's a
So
fun.
in rugby, you can only pass from behind, and you have to kick. Do you kick at all, or are you
No, I
like?
don't kick it. They don't.
Did they not let you kick it?
They don't. I feel like I shouldn't kick it. I would be too scared to kick it, and normally they don't really pass the ball to me unless they have to, because I know I get a little nervous and then I drop it, like it slips through my hands a lot of the time.
So are you at the point where you actually are getting like playing time in real games?
Yeah. Now,
Impressive.
but like not really because then we had to come home because of Corona.
Oh, so you're
Like
about to
the
peak
fall,
out. You're
not
about to
really.
go off.
Yeah, I was about to like go crazy.
Do you
almost got
feel
next
bad about
semester.
missing out? I know I do.
You do?
I missed out on being a Stag. I would have been great in these antlers.
I know Matt
I
missed
really
out.
missed out. I missed out the most.
He could have joined me on my first night adventure and my rugby adventure, but he decided to not do that.
Well,
What a shame.
for this episode, we don't really go to school with you, but we love to hear about your school. A lot of our stuff is going to be based on our experiences in high school. But before we get into that, do you want to share any cool college stories?
I don't feel like I have any.
Wow, that's lame. All right, so moving on.
Okay,
Moving
Mr.
on.
College. Okay, so I
In
don't
high
think
school-
any of them compare to your
You have to
college.
keep in mind she doesn't go to Delaware, you know?
Yeah,
It's just not
so
the
you
same
know what?
college
It wouldn't matter.
experience.
It's fine. I mean, we all know Delaware Superior. We don't have Deer, but it's
In
all
the rankings, everything.
Now, in high school, you were a member of the orchestra. Is that correct?
Yes.
And
So
did you
how
happen
do you
to
feel?
did you carry
how do
that
you feel
over
about
into
your time
college
off?
in any way?
I am in the orchestra at school.
How's that going?
I'm really bad there. They're all really good, like really good. But it's okay. I just sit there.
Is there any strange stand partners you've ever had in this experience?
Well, I'm at school.
At school, yeah. Just out of
Oh,
curiosity.
at school. Yeah, there's one guy. I should elaborate now.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
love to hear all
please.
about this.
This one man, I guess, I don't know if he goes to the school, but he goes to orchestra rehearsal.
Is that
and-
allowed?
I don't know. Yeah, I think so. I
Seems
think
a little bit sketchy.
because there's 7 people in the whole orchestra. So I just think they take whoever.
Makes
But
sense.
he was he asked me to be a stand partner. I said, okay, because I didn't have a stand partner. And then so I said, okay. And then he asked me, he's like, do you go to the gym? I was like, yeah, sometimes I go. Because I was like, yeah, for rugby, we have to go to the gym. And then he was like, oh, do you need a workout partner? I was like, oh, he's like, we could go together. We could lift and whatever. I was like,
So it appears
yeah.
he was in fact making the move.
He
My
was
dude is
that fair to
absolutely
say?
sliding.
He was, yeah.
How did that make you feel in the moment?
A little odd, because then at the next rehearsal when we went back, the viola player was explaining her interaction with the same stand partner, and she was saying how he asked her to be his gym partner. So I felt a little betrayed in a way, because he's asking multiple people to be his gym partner and not
Hey
just.
man, you gotta cast a wide net when you're looking for a
Then he
gym
got
partner.
kicked out of the orchestra.
I think if you just said yes to him and maybe worked out a few times a week with him, maybe he didn't have to go with other people, you know?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Maybe-
I
maybe
feel
you
like
would've
you
got
kind of
big.
crushed his dreams a little bit.
I think so. Maybe. I
It
just
happens though.
got a little uncomfortable in that situation. How'd you even remember that? How'd you remember it?
We need topics, you know?
Well,
Oh,
you're
right.
crushing dreams and breaking spirits, so now we're gonna break your spirit. Our next segment is our trivia segment. So if you're familiar with our podcast from before, or if you're familiar with the game Trivial Pursuit Live, the goal of this one is there's gonna be 6 questions, and we want you to answer them as well as you can.
So it
Okay.
seems like Sam had a particularly great score on last episode. Not too
But
sure
I
you'll be able to
never
top
played
his,
the
but
game. This is what all of you play.
well, it's just simple trivia. There's 6
Okay.
questions.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I guess so.
All right. Here we are. Let's jump right into question 1 then. Who was the second Chinese writer to win a Nobel Prize for Literature? A. Zhang Ali, B. Tao Yu, C. Mo Yan, or D. Gao Xingjian? And this question may look a little familiar because in the past we have asked for the first Chinese writer, but
The
this is
first
the second.
one, I remember. I'm pretty sure it's B, but not the answer to this one.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe Zhang Ali. A.
Zhang Lin, is that your final answer?
Are you confident?
No, but yeah, sure.
All right, let's see how she's
All
doing
right.
in question 1. Unfortunately, the answer we were looking for was in fact Mo Yan.
Yeah. It's okay. I was gonna say he was gonna be my second guess.
Yeah, this
Just
category has been
why?
tricky for people in the past. It's quite understandable.
Yeah.
Well, this is episode 3, and so far all you have to do is score higher than 1 to get better than Dante. But so far
If
you're
there's
not
any
on the
birthday
right pace.
questions on here, I think I'll get them.
There aren't.
Unfortunately,
You're
we
doing
specifically
something-
had those for Dante for a reason. Moving on to question 2. When Matt was deciding where to attend college, what university was his second choice? We have A, Loyola, Maryland, B, Fairfield, C, Binghamton, or D, Duquesne.
Oh, before you
B.
answer, I thought Boise State would have been an option, but oh well.
Boise State's actually where I ended up going. That was my number 1 choice.
B.
Understood.
B, Stags up.
B stacks up.
There we go. First correct answer on the board.
So
1 for 2.
I'm on the tie with Dante.
Mm-hmm. You've tied
Very
Dante's
respectable.
score. Moving on to the next question here. So in high school orchestra, which of the below options was not a known saying of Owen? A, death from above. B, Kate Porcello on the beat, ho. C, Ling Ling in the morning. Or D, the book has spoken.
Wait, which option was not?
So which one did he not say?
Well,
So he said 3 of them.
I experienced that firsthand.
There's
That's
a lot
when
of
the book was
history
common.
behind all of this.
I know the book has spoken.
We're down to B or C here.
Ling in the morning. I don't remember him saying on the beat ho. I think it's B. I don't remember him saying that.
All right, let's see how you did there.
I remember it.
The answer we're looking for
when
was
did he-
Ling Ling in the morning.
I didn't remember that one either.
Well, because Ling Ling in the morning is
Because
actually a
it's not-
Tyler saying, and I
Oh,
snuck it in there.
so you tricked me.
But when singing rap, he would tend to say, "Kick Pocello on the beat, ho."
Right.
I just didn't sing it
it.
for you, so it might not have been a giveaway. But
Yeah.
it's okay. It's
Can
understandable.
you please sing Ling Ling in the morning for us, though?
Ling Ling in the morning. It's not quite as majestic as the way Tyler does it. It's
What
just a
does that
whole nother
mean?
level.
What does that
Who
Absolutely
knows,
phenomenal.
really? Let's move on to question
Who
4.
cares, really? It's just Ling Ling in the morning.
It's kind of like the Gobi Desert, though. Anyway, moving on. Category, geography. We would like you to rate your week on a scale from 1 to 10, but your options are A, 3, B, 6, C, 7, or D, 9.
And when you're answering this, really take us through your process.
Yeah, we'd love to hear what's going into your answer here.
I feel like it's definitely not a 9 because we haven't really done anything.
All right, 9's been
think
eliminated.
I don't think it's a 3 because it's not awful. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like 6 and 7 are kind of close, but I moved out from school, so I feel like that was the sad part. But then it's been pretty nice weather out.
This is gonna be a tough one. 6 and 7 are close in proximity.
Maybe a 6. I feel like a 6.
A 6. All right.
Dante put me on this thing. I'm gonna be so mad.
Let's see what you got here. In fact, 6 was the answer we were looking for. We're pretty good at knowing how people's weeks were, you know.
Yeah, I'm smarter than Dante now.
You did get 2 out of 4, but you got a chance to get even better. Moving on to question 5.
Honestly, Ashley, I'm very proud of you so far.
Thank
for
you.
your performance.
50% is solid. That's like what we would expect you to get on an A-push test. Anyway, moving on to question 5.
Yeah.
Category, sports and leisure. Which one of these is a professional athlete? And I'll read you the choices. A, Willie Maxwell II. B, Brick Microwave Fort. C, Tavita Toliakono Tiopolotu Mosesi Bahai Thelko Falatai Bea. Or D, Nevadius Damone Wilburn.
I don't know. These all sound like real names to me.
You think Brick Fort is in fact a real person?
Brick Microwave.
Microwave is known alien.
Please don't respect the microwave like that.
No, not him. But like
The Brick Fort's been eliminated.
I feel like
The microwave.
D, like a lot of the players have like long names that they just change to something else. You know?
Yeah, it's quite possible. It is one of the options for a reason.
I don't think it's A either.
Willie Maxwell II.
I feel like no one goes by Willie unless like.
We're not saying this is what they go by. We're saying this is their birth name.
Yeah, I don't think that's their birth name, Willie.
Okay.
If it's C, I'm gonna be so mad. Is it D?
You're gonna go with D.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what the correct answer was. Unfortunately,
God,
we were looking for Tavita Toliakono
I-
Tiapolotu Mosesi Bahai
That's the
Fehoko
dumbest thing
Falatai
ever.
Bea.
Who is that?
Ashley, wait. Before we continue, I want to give you a chance to get some redemption here. For bonus points, the first ever extra credit question: what professional sport does Tavita Tuliakiono Tuliptu Mosi Vahati Falaku Faleti Vea play?
I don't know, football.
There you go.
That
We're
is
going to give you the correct answer. He does.
Oh, I'm so excited.
And
wow.
somehow he managed to shorten every syllable except for the last into Vita. So he's known as Vita Vea.
Oh.
And then not only was that the first extra credit, but we're going into another unprecedented territory. So I hope you have your paper ready, Ashley, because we're getting the first ever essay question here.
Oh, okay.
The category is science. And the question is, what events led to the French Revolution, and how will how did the will of the common folk lead to the royal monarchy crumbling?
So we're gonna give you a few minutes to write here while me and Lev continue discussing elsewhere. So if you want to go ahead and start your essay.
I literally told you on the phone that I don't remember anything from history.
Great. You've got
I'm sorry,
3
you
minutes
have
on the
5
clock.
seconds. Oh, 3 minutes? Oh.
3 minutes on the clock. All right, Lev. So how's your day been?
Well, my day's been pretty solid. I mean, I didn't really do much. I got 2 tests out of the way. Just getting it all done.
Still on
Getting
the clock.
on top of my
We
schedule.
haven't quite finished up yet.
So, yeah, for me, we still have school because Delaware started a month late because we have an extremely long winter break. So we have another couple week or so of school. I think this is our last week of classes finishing up, and now we have our finals week coming up.
Wait, can you say the second line? How did the will of the common folk? I can't see it because your face is over. Oh, never mind. I can move
lead the royal monarchy crumbling.
Never mind.
I'm sorry. Please, no comments from the peanut gallery while you're writing.
Sorry.
You've got 2 minutes and 23 seconds left.
I don't know what to write.
I'm sorry. Give her a 30-second penalty for all this consistent talking.
No, this is the first essay. We're gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. We're gonna give her the full time period and see what she can come up with.
Wow, you are a lot more generous than I. Luckily, you're in charge of the time. Ashley, feel grateful for this.
Thank you.
Please stop talking. We're gonna have to mute you consider talking. You're gonna have to write this essay.
I finished school like a week or so ago, and I know a lot of people are finishing up this week, so it seems like you're quite late. But my biggest finesse here was the fact that I managed to pass stats. So I was taking a pass-fail, right? But unfortunately, I did get a 60 on the final, so it wasn't looking pretty there. When I calculated my grade, I got about a 76 average, which is in the passing range. So
you nailed it,
unfortunately, Don might not have the same luck in calc as we learned in the last podcast, but looks like I'm not going to have to retake stats.
I thought I might have actually ended up failing calc, but I took one of my tests today. It wasn't my final, but it was my calc 2 test, and there's 3 tests in the year, and I cheated my ass off and got a 90. So pretty proud of that. I think I'll be okay in my calc class. So I'm glad to hear you're okay in stats too.
Seems like we're finessing math. Unfortunately, fortunately, because it seems like Don enjoys it so much that he just wants to take it again. So good.
Fortunately for Don, he also failed our trivia, so he just failed 2 tests.
Not great. Not a great result.
Oh well. How much time do you have on the clock?
She's got another minute left to write this. Lev, how confident are you that she's going to come up with a competent answer here?
Well, if I'm being honest, I don't know if she knows what the French Revolution is, but she was an A-push, so she could surprise me because I didn't know what the French Revolution was going into this, but I did some research and now I'm very much prepared for any sort of essay question like this if I were taking it, but thankfully I'm not.
Thankfully, I'm also not having to answer this question, although I would ace it. I'm just not a big fan of writing essays,
Yeah, it would really be a shame if I had to do this, so anyone having to do this, it must suck for them. I really do feel bad.
Quarantine wants a good read. The Adventures of Harold and the Purple Crayon, I can highly recommend. I read this over Xbox to Sam a few weeks ago, and it was a good read. All right, Ashley, 10 seconds on the clock.
That's actually one of my favorite novels. I've read the entire series now almost 8 times.
Beautiful. 2, 1. All right, pencils down.
Okay.
Please read us what you wrote.
Here, I'll ask the question one more time, and then you can read us what you've come up with.
Okay.
So, what events led to the French Revolution, and how did the will of the common folk lead to the royal monarchy crumbling?
I said that they attacked. I drew a picture. See, there's the building.
Are those the French, the common folk?
They're the modern folk. That's
Wait, stop sharing your screen so we can see it a little better, Matt.
Oh, smart move.
Oh.
All right, you want to show us the picture again?
Try again.
To the viewers.
This is the. See, there's a little castle.
Mm-hmm.
The monarchy,
okay.
And there's a common folk. And they're attacking it because they didn't have any money, the government. And the French wanted to be like, I'm assuming maybe it took place after the American Revolution. I want to be like America. That was my most
Yeah, so what happened was it did take place after the American Revolution. And if you recall, France helped us greatly in that escapade. And we just did not repay them because we're America and we left them on their own.
So they did have no money. Like I just said.
Common folk was
Yes,
broke.
they had no money, and when Robespierre took over, he started cutting everyone's head off.
So it's always a happy ending to every war. But Ashley, I think you did a pretty good job with that question. I think we'll give you partial credit. So what's that? 2.5?
I'd say
with
we'll
extra credit.
We'll give her a 3 out of 5. She got most of the points there, so that'll be a 60% on that question. So we'll give
I would say you approximately scored a 3.23 out of 6 on the entire thing, which is above 50%, which is solid.
That's so exciting. I'm so excited.
You should be proud of your work.
I think
here.
LaCobb
Very
would
well
be
done.
proud of me and Miss Holman.
I'm glad you think that. So moving into the next question here. We see that on our list here it says you're a vegetarian.
Yeah.
That
Could you
disgusts
explain
me.
why?
You're like Dante.
Factoring in that chicken does in fact taste very good.
Yeah. My grandpa says that chicken and turkey is actually poultry, so it doesn't count as meat.
I don't think that's true.
But I don't
It's not
I
red
don't
meat.
eat it. What was the question?
Why are you a vegetarian?
Why do you hate cows?
It mostly happened because we were at Matt Goldbach's grad party, and Dante decided to start fighting about animal rights with me. And then he was like, then why do you still eat chicken? I was like, fine, I won't. And then it was supposed to only be.
So would it be fair to say you're doing it simply to prove a point?
It was at first, and now I just don't eat it.
So you're a vegetarian because Dante told you to be a vegetarian.
Yeah, basically. So it's all Dante's fault. At first.
Wow,
I was like thinking about it, and then Dante just made me mad. I was like, fine, I'll be vegetarian.
That's a pretty interesting turn.
Something, I would do it, no matter
if
what.
Dante told me to jump off a bridge, I would absolutely.
I know, like anything for Don, really.
Anything for Don.
Anything.
The best guest this podcast has ever had. Anyway,
hey, well, with that in the air, so we had a deep conversation one day. It was around a campfire in another state, up north.
I knew this. I literally knew this was. I know the exact. Okay, I knew this was.
It was a very interesting conversation around the topic of nothingness and how nothingness can be attained, how it exists in space, and understanding the conception of what it really is. So why don't you explain to our audience what you define nothing as?
Wait, I was in the car driving home today and I was thinking about, I was like, I wonder what they're going to try and talk about. And I was like, they're definitely going to say nothing is something. And then if Spencer watches this, I'm going to get flamed, but that's okay because I'm not talking to him. And now I'm talking to you. And I was like, if they bring this up, I don't know what I'm supposed to say. So I was trying to think of things.
What did you come up with?
Nothing really. But.
So nothing.
Yeah. So what's in space? It's just there's something there, but we don't know what it is. Like they label it as nothing. And so
what do you mean by that?
Like I think that by scientists or whoever labeling the space that's in space as nothing, they're acknowledging that it exists, so it's something.
What's beyond that?
Beyond space?
Beyond this so-called nothing that you think is something.
Like, I don't understand. Like, Spencer was trying to tell me, like, if you put it in a jar or something, like, you take a jar and, like, you close it in space and bring it to Earth, it would, like, break or something.
Yeah, so the idea behind that is in space, there's no air molecules. So if you were to open a jar and then close it in space, it would be completely vacuum tight with no air inside of it. Then when you brought it to Earth, the pressure from the air around the jar would shatter the jar instantly.
Yeah, but I feel like...
But that's just a scientific fact.
Yeah, but I feel like it's just there's something in the jar still. Like there's something in the jar still.
There's a vacuum of nothingness in the jar, exactly.
I would say there's in fact nothing in the jar. It
doesn't work well with the air.
So you cannot have an empty jar.
No.
You can't have an empty jar unless you take it into space. Then it'll be empty. And then when you bring it back to Earth.
When you go to space and you take out, you open the jar and you let it out, you're going to see the air go out?
Well, the air will instantly leave the jar because the absence of air in space, since there's nothing, will suck it. It just floats into wherever it wants to go.
Through space.
So based on the idea...
Then if I take another jar and go like that, then I could have part of the air in my jar.
So yeah, but this is all hypothetical. There's no actual jar. I don't know if you know this.
Based on
This
Newton's
hasn't been
law of
done.
motion,
Oh,
as soon as the air exits the jar, it will just consistently move in the same direction it was originally being pushed in from the force of being pulled out of the jar.
I just think that we don't know all about space, so I
Yes,
really
except we do know because we visited space and
no,
also
we
we left the
don't
atmosphere.
know. We don't know. Because you don't know. Like there's something there. Like there can't just not be nothing there.
All right. Well, on the topic of arguments with Spencer, I believe this isn't the only one you've had with him. Is that true?
Yeah. No.
Was there any? Is there any when we were in Disney World that you recall?
Oh my God, he's so stupid about the robots.
So what about the robots? Was he arguing? What did you say?
He wanted. He thought that robots should be judges and take over the judge position. But you agreed with me on this one.
I just want to hear your stance.
He thought that the judges should be robots and not human beings anymore. Well, Victoria also agreed with me too. Spencer was the only one on that side. I just think that's wrong. That's so stupid.
I recall another thing you said that day is that it's quite possible that you are in fact the only human in the universe. Would you
Yeah.
care to elaborate on that stance?
Like, how am I supposed to know that you actually exist like I exist?
Would I be wearing
Well,
stag
I'm
antlers
wearing
if I was fake?
sunglasses and sticks in my
Yeah,
hair.
but I don't know like your conscience.
Consciousness.
Consciousness. Like I don't know what like if you like when we hang up the phone, like I don't know what you're doing, like what you're actually doing.
Probably
Like,
play
I
some
when you hang up
Xbox
the
tonight.
phone,
frozen there
Play
until
some
then I tell
Fortnite
you.
tonight.
What?
well,
Probably
when you
play some
hang up the phone,
Fortnite
we'll
later.
probably play some Fortnite. Yeah, but other than that, like I understand what you're coming from here, but ultimately, I understand also that I am my own consciousness, and I don't know what you do every day. I just have
Yeah,
to
so like you can
assume.
do that about me. Like what if I'm not real? Like I don't
I
need
just
like,
have.
I might not
I
be.
just have to assume that you are real because I've seen you. I know you. We're very good friends. I feel like I know your life, and I know generally what you do in Fairfield. I visited you at college.
But then again, you know absolutely nothing about me.
I feel like I know a little bit some things about you.
I've actually
Name
never
one
met this
thing.
man in my life.
Your name's Matt. You live in the same town as me. Go to school in California. Wearing stag antlers right now.
I actually go to
The
Boise
violin.
State, but yeah.
He goes to Boise State in Idaho.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, but like how much? Like there's like 7.4 billion people in the world or whatever. Like how am I? Like all of them exist?
Okay, but do you think it's more likely that they all exist, or you're the only one that exists?
I don't know. Like I just don't know how they exist. Like how? Like I don't know if they all exist.
Okay, do you think that let's start on a basic platform. Do you think that me and Michael exist? Like if you had to say one way or the other.
Like right now, I'm like, yeah, they exist. But then like when you start thinking about it, like when you think about it about the topic, you're like, do they really exist?
Like
But,
it can't be 100% proven. I agree there.
Yeah, you know, like what if you're just like, what if there's this like other force thing that's controlling you all?
The force is with you.
Not that it revolves around my life, but like it could.
Well, in your mind, it seems to.
Yeah. Not like that, but like.
So if you believe that it's possible that you're the only human, what's the point of interacting with others? What does that accomplish?
I don't know. So that like I had a dream one time that like that was the case, like where I was the only real one, and I figured out that I was the only real one. And then I like realized that I had not that this exists, but like I had some like other like power thing. You know what I mean? So like
No,
you're
not exactly.
to stop me or whatever. That's like in the supernatural sense of my dream. But, like I don't know.
But couldn't it be just as likely that reality is a dream?
Yes, that could happen too. You know, reality.
All right. After this intellectual topic, obviously the only thing we can do is move on to Leb's drawing. So Leb, you want to explain what's going to go on here?
Now,
why is he still
now,
looking at that?
I'm gonna want to get serious for this. So
we were on those
sadly,
joking topics, but this is when we get down to business.
this will be the end of the stag
Need
reign
a
here
haircut.
on
You
the
really
podcast. I'm sorry, no comments till the end, please. Now, why don't you guys? You can chat it up. I'm gonna start drawing you a picture, and we'll get into that once I'm just about
Yeah,
finished.
so we'll just like the picture a little later once there's more in progress. But actually, as you know, there's a global pandemic on our hands. We've been in
Yeah.
isolation for multiple months at this point. So what have you been doing to pass the time? What are some of your favorite activities?
Well, I was doing schoolwork. You're confusing me. And and sometimes I run. I've been trying to read. I don't do much. I roll around like on my floor
What do
when
you
I'm
mean roll around?
just roll.
Like your body is rolling?
Yeah, you just lie on the ground and roll. I don't
Like,
know.
is this an indoor and outdoor activity?
Michael saw me rolling down the hill. Right, Michael?
I think Michael's a little locked in on the drawing at the
Oh.
moment. You have to let him
Okay.
focus here. But you can ask him that
This is
later
very
on.
important, but you can ask me as soon as I finish. Thank you.
Yeah, I normally just like, I don't know, I just roll around on my floor. I'll go drive around sometimes.
I think I'd like to try rolling around. So maybe
Yeah,
after the
no, it's
podcast, you can
fun,
show
like,
me how to do it.
At 2 a.m. Here, I'll show you.
Okay. I'd love to see a
A
demonstration.
yoga mat right here. Wait, I'm gonna spill my tea. You know, you just like lay down and then like roll. You know, but there's not much.
So do you ever get like fully onto your like stomach?
Oh, like this. And you just roll around.
Oh, I don't know if I could do that backwards one. That's quite impressive.
Go this way.
Did this take some practice?
I mean, you can practice, but that's what I do at nighttime.
But have you gotten better at it from practice, or have you always been just naturally
Yeah,
gifted?
of course. Like I'm a gymnast now, I like to think. Oh, I have been pogo sticking
Oh, how's that been going?
and stilt walking.
What got you into that?
I found them in my garage.
Do you
Now
fall?
I hop around my backyard. Have I fallen? No.
I find that hard to
All right.
believe.
I'm athletic, Matthew.
That's right. All right, moving on to the drawing.
So-
Lev, you want to explain what you've drawn here?
We're very proud that you're athletic. Ashley, before I explain this, I just want to ask, do you have any idea what I've drawn here?
No.
Okay, so this here is a picture of you. I'll label it for you.
Aw, you know how to spell my name.
So I have you, and you're eating a rock. Can you tell us why?
No. At the beach, I eat rocks. I love them. That's so fun. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, so you're eating a rock,
That's the first half of this picture.
I don't know who's saying, hey, that's my bro.
and right next to you is actually Dwayne Johnson. And
Um,
With his
you're
brother,
eating
the
his
rock
brother,
that you're eating.
The Rock.
You're actually eating
Okay,
his brother.
Wow.
So they are indeed two different
Two
people.
separate,
The Rock is a rock, and Dwayne Johnson is Dwayne Johnson. Do you have any comment about that?
Yeah, I literally hate talking to Spencer because he made me think that those were two separate people. Like, he
Well,
makes me
the
think.
picture clearly shows that they in fact are. You're not eating Dwayne Johnson, you're eating the rock.
Oh, yeah, no, they are two separate people. Yeah, no, well, at the beach, I eat rocks sometimes.
Have you ever eaten Dwayne the Rock?
What's like the biggest rock you've eaten? Yeah.
What? Wait, what?
What's the biggest rock
What's the
you've
biggest
eaten?
rock?
And have you eaten Dwayne the Rock, perhaps?
No, I haven't done that.
Are we talking pebbles or like are they decent
I
sized
feel
rocks?
like, I don't know. They're like the pebbles at the sand.
And do you actually swallow them?
Yeah. Right?
see.
Michael's experienced it firsthand.
Yeah, I've actually heard that dinosaurs used to eat rocks to help with their digestion because they couldn't chew their food. So
maybe
you
that
are a
helps
vegetarian.
vegetarians to digest their food, yeah.
Yeah, like a herbivore.
I can see where you come from there. So
Yeah.
that'll be my drawing. I
But
But
they
hope
if
are-
you want to eat
enjoyed it.
healthy, start eating rocks and go from there.
You
Alright.
should try it.
I
Alright,
definitely will not.
Now that Love's a little less distracted, do you want to ask him about your whatever it is, going down the hill?
Oh, I rolled down the hill. You watched me roll down the hill.
Is this true,
Yeah,
Michael? Did she in fact roll down the hill?
I believe so.
Okay.
That sounds like a believable
I wouldn't like to
story.
eat rocks though, like from the grass with the dirt,
Huh.
like only from the beach because there's only.
Yeah, I would never eat a dirt rock. I'm an elitist.
Well, it's like for me, like I'll eat some chicken, but some chicken's just not good enough quality. Maybe it's the same with rocks.
It's just probably not.
I wouldn't eat raw chicken.
Yeah, no. Sounds
So
I probably wouldn't eat any rock either, but that's besides the point.
but
So
you
Ashley, you've been a good sport so far. I'm sorry, but we have to hurry in here.
We're on a strict
we've-
time schedule.
We've saved the best for last, and we really want to just get to the bottom of this here. We were driving across states during the summer this year, and
right.
in Albany, New York, we found out that you were pulled over for driving a little too quickly in a construction zone. How was that
A
experience?
little is one way to put it.
Can you tell us what that was like? Go through your head during this event.
Wait. Matt, were you in my car? Yeah.
I was not.
You weren't? Who was in my car? It was Julia, Leah. I think it was Nick and James.
Sounds right.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, you just listed a bunch of future guests on the podcast, right?
Yes. Yes. A fun time. I feel like you'll never be able to get James though.
We'll see.
I'll find a way.
I think you'd be surprised.
I feel like if you do, I don't know. I've been trying to call him for 5 days in a row, and he has yet to answer one of my 80 calls, but it's fine. So it's fine.
Maybe you text him and say
you're
it's about
avoiding-
somewhat close to everything we need podcast. He will in fact answer.
It seems like you're avoiding the original question.
Okay. So I was. Evan thinks that he can drive faster than me to get to a destination that he doesn't know where he's. I mean, he knew where he was going. He had maps on, but I wanted to beat everyone there. So I was driving and I was ahead of everyone, and then we were in a construction zone, and my Waze said, watch out, cop ahead. And then I saw that he already pulled someone over, and like he was already like pulling
Mean
someone
business.
over. So I slowed down a little bit, not a lot, and I was going the speed of traffic. And then all of a sudden,
Was the speed of traffic 30 miles per hour over the speed limit?
yeah, it was. It definitely was, because
Okay.
I mean, I was in the left lane, but then the cop decided to skirt out of his ticket that he was already writing to this person, and like I guess gave and like hopped back in his car, because I saw him, and then he like dashed all the way over, and I saw him like starting to move, and I was like, oh my god, and then my heart was dropping to.
Did you consider speeding up to try to escape?
What?
Did you consider speeding up to try to escape this irritating
No.
officer?
No, irritating. He was quite irritated. No. And then he came behind me and then put his lights on, and then he pulled me over, and I pulled over. Michael, you look so special. And he pulled me over, and then he came up to me and was pretty aggressive, I would like to say. And in Albany, this is just my personal experience, they will just pull you over if you have New Jersey license plates. So, and then I asked him, I was like, hi, sorry, my uncle is a cop. And then he yelled at me and said, word of mouth means nothing to me. So I have to go to court, but I think it got dropped. The ticket, it was supposed to be like a 6-point ticket, but I think it got dropped because of Corona, and we kept pushing it back, you know?
That's
Speaking of
what we
getting
like to
dropped, I
do.
would like to shout out the person who's currently suing me. Stop it. Anyway.
But I was driving to pick up my stuff from school, and because that ticket's not fully like handled yet, I passed a police car, and then all of a sudden he came out with his lights on of his spot and behind my car, and I almost started crying, and then I pulled over and he wasn't after me. Thought I should share that. But yeah, I did
Wow.
get yelled at a lot for that.
What an enlightening story.
Yeah.
That really, really takes me back.
His
So-
name was Henry.
Irritating
Shout out,
E.
shout out.
Henry.
That's
Well,
how.
Ashley, you've been a good sport. That's all we have for today. But real quick, we always give everybody at the end of the podcast a chance. So you were good for us. Now you get your chance. Go ahead. You can roast us. You could have any sort of comments. Do you have anything you want to say? You
Or
have
any
the floor.
topics you have that would be about us.
You think nothing is something?
I think nothing
Yes.
is in fact nothing.
I think nothing is exactly what it is.
So you don't think there's like something there that like scientists just haven't like given?
There is something there. Nothing's there.
So
yeah,
it's
it's just
nothing. You
the
said
empty vacuum of
No, I
space.
said it's
which is
nothing.
nothing.
No, you said it's something.
The empty vacuum of space is indeed nothing.
Do you
But
think?
there are things floating in the nothing, which like stars, planets, gas, everything. But generally, it's just nothing.
Why are glasses like that?
This is just the new style.
Oh. No, I feel like I don't really have any roasts for you.
There's nothing to roast here.
No, I think I could tell you who you look like, Matt.
Who do I look like? Oh, I already know. I already know who you're gonna go for here. I have a pretty good idea.
Do I look like Amelia Earhart?
I think so.
Hold on, I'm gonna find it.
All right, we'll give you another few seconds, or I might not be able to show people.
Hold
what
on, no,
look
I
like.
found it. I found it. You remind me of him.
Oh, that's not who I thought you were going for. So I can
That's the
see
boy
it.
from Lazy Town.
I'm stingy and it's mine.
I thought we were gonna go with the kid from Big Mouth. That's the one.
No,
I
you
wanted.
look like him too. But
Oh.
when I picture you, I picture him.
I like the bow tie. It's very in style right there.
He's really a classy kid. All
I
right,
think you
well,
look like him.
before we really wrap this up, do you want to call out anyone that you would like to see in specific to be our next
This is
guest?
what Michael looks
If only that were accurate.
like.
I wish he looked like that. Having such a handsome co-host would be amazing.
I wish.
I really think you could have a fun time with Dominique. I really think she's.
That's been the most common
I
name we've
definitely
heard.
I know.
agree.
Because I think that'd be
And
so.
she has,
fun.
in fact, agreed to make an appearance. So Dominique will
think
be on the
that'd be so
podcast in the
fun.
future for everyone who's been
Dominique
waiting.
was
funny.
ever since we started this podcast, Dominique was my #1 ask. So Dominique, we're calling you out.
She has, in fact, agreed to be on now. So it's happening. It's just a matter of when.
Thank God.
Yeah, all of them. I want all of them.
All right. Well,
All right, good.
all of them,
Well,
you heard it.
All of them.
you heard it here first. You're all going to be on here at some point. Don't worry. Ashley, thank you for being here. You did great.
It was a super
Somewhat.
fun
You
time.
did okay. I mean,
Listen.
you were in the top 3 so far.
Thanks.
Definitely in the
Out of
top 3.
3. Out of the 3. Thank you.
All right, and for everyone else watching, we'll see you next week.
See you next time.